It's September 8th, 2024. I'm living at Hope Living in Ottawa. My name is Kuhl. This is Ottawa, Canada. A thought occurs to me: how can I ask the right questions in order to get the best video log I can from this particular session? My mind always has its go-tos. I just, no matter how original I try and make my videos, I always seem to gravitate towards the same subjects. But I think if I could just ask different questions, I could discover new insights a lot better. It pretty well comes back to addiction and recovery and mental illness. Pretty much every time I press record, I think that sometimes I have unhealthy thinking, and I think it's destructive, but it comes to me at a time where I'm looking for something positive, and I'm looking for insight. And I think, how long am I going to follow this particular line of thinking, and is it really worth saying if I understand that it's not leading me in a good direction in the first place? But I think something can come out positive about telling this story, so I will. Recently, it's been feeling like I'm living in two realities. One where everybody hates me, and one where everybody loves me. And I think that's a delusion, because I think in real life it's a mixture of both. Some people like me and some people don't, but it just seems that way, There's something called a delusion. It's having a false belief, but it's false evidence appearing real. Delusions are. The word fear spells out that acronym. But there's a lot of people on the internet and also in real life who believe unhealthy things. They have delusions. They believe things are real that aren't real, and believe things are unreal that are real. And another thing that I tend to go to is comparing myself to other people, and having this be all about getting to know Chris. Whereas I think to make it more interesting would be to talk about something rather than talk about someone all the time, being myself. I hear stuff about alternative reality, higher states of consciousness, timelines, portholes, shifting reality. And the thing is, I grew up, and when I was younger, I believed that I perceived reality. Um, when I got older, I came across the belief that we create reality rather than perceive it. Um, but in actuality, we do a bit of both. We perceive reality with our senses, and we create reality by our actions are a cause that bring about an effect. So the cause comes before the effect, so let me digress for a little bit and compare. Well, there's no, what I'm trying to say is that I don't think these people can really do all the things they think they can do. When I was younger, I wanted to escape from reality, but now that I'm older, I just want to have a clear sense of where I fit in the world, and an understanding that things are going to be normal enough that I'm able to adapt and adjust and live with them. So every time I take a drug, I'm taking a risk. So people think drugs are exciting, like, how much does my reality change? Well, I'd rather talk about this first. Like, someone comes to Hope Living thinking they've heard about me, and they're talking to someone other than me, and they think maybe they don't like me. They say they don't like drugs, and they get told, well, actually, Chris is the one who's off the drugs. And then they say, they don't like people who bum change, and they get told, well, actually, Chris stopped bumming change a long time ago when he quit drinking, with a few relapses, but hardly ever. So I've been sober for more than a year now, and so that's just how people hear things, and then they find out that in actuality things are different than what they hear, right? And that's what has fucked me up the most, really, is just the fact that people get to believe I'm a certain way, and they don't really know how I really am, and things get out of hand, and all sorts of things can be said, and people have difficulty differentiating the true from the false. So that leads to the next question. This is so in Ontario, the Premier of Ontario and the Conservative government under Doug Ford have made it legal and regular for corner stores to have alcoholic beverages, whereas before these alcoholic beverages were primarily only found in liquor stores and beer stores. And some people like this change and some people don't. I attribute a lot of the positive things in my life now due to the fact that I'm no longer consuming alcohol. When I drank alcohol, my life got very difficult, and things did not improve much until I was able to stop drinking. And I I know some people who like the fact that they don't have to walk as far to get their booze, and they like the fact that they can get their booze at corner stores now. But as for me, I have nothing against people who drink. I just don't want to drink myself. It's not people that I dislike, it's what alcohol does to me. So I was at the corner store the other day. I was really stoned. I bought 2 energy drinks, which are caffeinated. There's no alcohol in them. And I drank one there and brought one home with me to drink at home. And I was hanging out at the stores, something that I sometimes do, consuming what I had bought on the property before I left instead of just bringing it home with me. And that's a time when I get away from the house for a while and spend some time being out, and just to experience life and see what happens. But I started talking to some of the people who were frequenting the store, and one thing I noticed is now when you open up, before you even open up the door, there's a sign beside the door that says beer that you can see even before you walk in the store, right? And it seems like that's trying to apply to try and convince me to buy beer, and I found it kind of intrusive. I guess it's considered a successful marketing strategy, but I find it kind of intrusive, and it just so things got to change. I sort of realized that I might have gotten myself into a dangerous situation without even realizing it, where I started talking to people, and I just habitually talked to them about sobriety, because it was part of my reason for being there. And then it occurred to me that I might have been talking about sobriety to people who were there to buy alcohol, and so that puts me into a difficult situation. So either I no longer hang out at stores, or I be careful what I say to people. It's don't want to piss anyone off, really, but so as for the whether I like the new changes and where they can sell alcohol in Ontario, I don't like it. I used to be near stores in order to panhandle, and I developed a habit of hanging out near a store, and now I hang out in front of stores sometimes where I'm not panhandling. I just wind up there because it's one of the places I'm habitually going. So I just lost my train of thought. Yeah, now I remember. Okay, the other thing I want to talk about is as soon as I get stoned, I feel a sense of relief, like I made a breakthrough. This happens pretty much immediately, and I feel really good for the first 20 minutes, but immediately I can notice things going wrong. One of it is I become more aware of how my addiction's affecting me, and it becomes harder to control. After consuming marijuana, I always become more fixated with cigarettes, and I've developed a mindfulness through observing how my cigarette addiction affects me. Where I can actually feel the physical compulsion that happens when I'm trying to stop smoking and walk away from a cigarette after I stop smoking a cigarette and start walking away. I can feel my body still making me crave a cigarette. It's like an instant withdrawal. And the other thing I notice is the mental obsession is when I think about having a cigarette, where it's when I'm up in my room, the thought occurs to me to go out and have a smoke, and it's hard to get anything else done, because when I'm high, my mind for the first little while has a hard time thinking about anything other than cigarettes. So I probably explained to you this before, but maybe you haven't seen my other videos. Maybe you've just seen this one. So I'll explain again. In addiction, there's something called the mental obsession. That's thinking about the substance you're addicted to, and then there's the physical compulsion. That's the effect addiction has on your body, and a compulsion is a physical desire to do more of the substance, whereas the mental obsession is thinking about something a lot and having a hard time focusing the mind on other things. So I don't know. One could think that a person could think that a mental illness or a drug addiction could be exciting or more interesting than one's normal life or normal way of being. Whereas me, it's not all fun and exciting, and for me, the danger is like I could find myself in a different city with no money and no way to contact anyone I know, and I could lose my ability to fit into society, to get along with people, and that's the danger I face with the mental illness, is that when my mental illness takes control, or when I'm off my medication, when schizophrenia is affecting me the most, life may seem more exciting and more seems possible than what I originally where I really originally thought was real. But what happens is when it gets really bad, I lose the ability to get along with people, and I get isolated, and then that affects my ability to survive. And it seems pretty far-fetched that I would have such a secure life here in Ottawa, at Hope living here, but I have everything I need. But the cunning and baffling thing about it is when schizophrenia takes over, things like that. If I lose control of the direction my mind is going, it can take me to some very low places because I lose control of my situation, and my mind leads me to the worst result instead of the best result when things aren't going my way. And I mean, all it would take for me to be losing everything would just be taking off and being in the wrong place. But I don't know. I think marijuana affects my personality. I think it gets me focusing on the negative a lot more, and where I see the darker side of life instead of the brighter, more positive side of life. So I'll just end with this brighter, more positive thought. So when I got high on Friday, I stayed up all night playing guitar and recording, and I slept most of Saturday and through the day and the night, and then when I woke up after a breakfast and another nap, and had some coffee, I was just so glad to be awake. I really love life. Life can seem like an enemy, or it can seem like a good friend. Life can seem like a positive thing or a negative thing, but I think of life as good, and it's a source of positivity for me. I think of life as a good thing and a helpful thing, that when other things might be going my way, life is sort of has a spiritual connotation for me, and it's one of the things I think of as good. I seldom think of life as the problem. I usually think of life as part of the solution. If we can do more for our life will get better, right? So this video is influenced by the fact that I'm stoned, I'm high on marijuana, I didn't do a harder drug today. I just want to let you know I have long periods of abstinence from this drug, and no matter how long I go without doing it, I tend to return to it eventually and do it again, and then I stop wanting to do it. But no matter how much I stop wanting to do it, the desire to do it tends to come back. Okay? Another thing I want to talk about is how I think through doing the 12 steps, I wonder if that's what makes one feel guilt and shame and remorse over addiction. And these programs, Alcoholics Anonymous and Narcotics Anonymous and CA, and they do positive things for people's lives, but it seems like when I heard something on the internet today of someone loving an addict even when they're in active addiction, not only when they're clean and sober, it struck me as different than the way I'm used to thinking. Well, can someone really love me even when I'm high? Or do I just get an abrasive personality when I'm high? Because I think of when I come off of a binge, I feel a lot of regret, and I see the negative consequences of my actions after the fact rather than when I'm on the substance. So it just struck me that someone could find an addict like me lovable even when I'm not clean. So this is a very long video. We're almost at a half an hour now. Another thing I've been thinking about is I'll try and wrap it up soon, but if I keep having eureka moments and more things to say, then that's good. I hope some of them are really leading to something better than just mundane or the usual. I think I'll just so the next thought is that I just haven't been going to meetings all that much anymore. I'm finding it harder to feel like I'm getting something positive out of an NA meeting, when I remember like in times past, an NA meeting or an AA meeting, I'd have friends I'd hang out with after the meeting and not just see them at the meeting. And here in Ottawa, I haven't like made any connections like that with people in recovery, and I'm asking myself, why am I going to a meeting if I don't really relate to these people, and I haven't built any real friendships yet. But I still talk to my sponsor on the phone, and a friend from Smith Falls who are in recovery, and if they pester me enough, I'll go back to a meeting. Someone might say that I need the meetings, that the meetings are my medicine, but I think I'm really, when I hear someone with a lot of clean time saying that he calls people and can only seem to find one person to talk to, it just seems like people are going to the meetings, and some of them aren't getting any help. They're not getting better. I had this thought the other day that staying clean doesn't come from a place or a meeting. It comes from your mind. And but over a long period of time of recovery, I think meetings in the literature have had a positive effect on me. They've changed the way I think. Anyway, we just reached we're just coming up on 31 minutes. If you've listened to this whole video, thank you for sticking with me for so long. And I think I'll wrap it up. Thanks for joining me. I hope you got something good out of this. Bye for now.